Okay, so yeah, if you guys are new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe. Helps me out a lot. Make sure to hit the notification bell and hit uh, all so you know when I drop videos right on a dot. And yeah, this movie sucked. It sucked. The acting is not the problem, although choices in terms of direction by the director Lana Wachowski, where before it was two of them. I guess the other one decided, I want to be a part of this. Um, so the other sister and two other writers decided, let's make a Matrix, or let's write a Matrix movie and I'll direct it. That's what years after the third film I thought was, I know a lot of people hate the third film. It is a bit boring somewhat, but only because it shows footage from the second film, which wastes its time explain because it wants to explain in case I guess you haven't seen the second film. I'm like, whatever with that. Um, but yeah, I did mind the ending overall. I thought it was a decent send off to characters, although the usage of Lawrence Fishburne, Morpheus in that third film, I think that's a big issue I have with the film. Um, I mean, I like the fact that him and Neo left on good terms, at least. Here in this movie, the actor that they got to play, you know, Morpheus or a mobile, whatever terms they want to use, um, for this version, I guess, which is stupid. I didn't care for the character Yahya Abdul Mateen, who played in the Candyman reboot, remake, sequel, whatever. I did a review for that film if anybody's interested. I gave that a amazing review and good thoughts. But yeah, he sucked in this movie. There's no Lawrence Fishburne at all in him. He tries at first, and then he decides, you know what I'm gonna somewhat do him, but then I'm also just do my own lazy thing. And he doesn't, I'm sorry, I don't understand the appeal. I don't get the praise that this guy gets at all. Seriously, I don't understand his act. What I have a problem with is the fact that they decide to kind of change things in this, where spoilers, because I'm crapping on this movie, because they do it's a retread of the first film at first, or in spots where you have Neo. He's older now, but not too old. But you know he's in the real world, because this movie tries to do a, was the Matrix ever even really real, or was it just in his mind? That part I actually liked. I'll give it credit. I did like that, where they tried something different with ideas that they never over with people, I guess. But all the whole, you know, and now I lost my train of thought. There is a character in this they bring back, a callback to the sequels, even though people again mostly hate the sequels. Well, they hate the third one the most, but yeah, they bring her character back. She has something to sort of do where she tries to uh, get help get Trinity awakened. But yeah, this movie, it again, the acting's not the problem for most people anyway. Um, the character of Bug, I didn't mind her. Actually, liked her character a bit. I liked the new crew from them. They set up sequel bait ending, which is stupid. Um, and it makes Neo not special anymore because he's the bad guys. I say one of, but it's really I believe he's the main baddie because then we have Agent Smith, who is not the same actor from the original trilogy, which sucks. I don't know why they couldn't bring him back either. I guess he didn't want to do it. I'm told I hear like Lawrence Fishburne either he was not asked to come back or they decided to just go with somebody else. If that's the case, I think that's totally terrible judgment call because you have you have the whole you would have the whole original crew back. I guarantee he probably wanted to do the movie, but then again, probably not because he saw the script and was like, what is this? So I don't know. But again, it seems like, and then they ruined the character of Neo because we gotta bring him back into the Matrix. We have this other crew of people, and oh yeah, Jada Pinkett Smith's character. I forget what her name is. But then she has an attitude and locks him up, and then he gets broken out. Whatever. At least I did like how they kept continuity with the third film, where the robot or the machines are somewhat living in harmony with humans and being sentient with them, and they have these cool sentient beings that are like, I guess, made out of data, but they can like make themselves look human a little bit, but not really. But they're like pixels. I thought that was pretty interesting and pretty cool. I would like to have seen what they could do if they can fight, which I assume they could. Because at one point they have Morpheus as one of them, which I'm like, because then his actor, it seems like he wasn't really the actual actor wasn't really in the movie showing himself. He was mainly like the pixels, polka dots. But yeah, this whole movie is Neo trying to get Trinity to wake up because he finds her in the Matrix, and he's like, I gotta get her out, or I want to wake her up and have her love me again, and so we have to do this whole thing again. And I don't care because I need to correct and Neo really made the movie, ended again decently. I guess at the end of the third film, I guess Neo disappeared. I guess he disappeared or something. Because like I guess the robots they explain like why stuff happened to where like robots began to attack each other instead of the humans now, and um I guess at the end of the third film when he beats Smith and I guess he dies but not really, because then they are able to bring him back as well with Trinity, and they hide him and her in the Matrix. They change like his whole data and DNA or whatever, so that's why the Resistance or whoever people from Zion can't find Neo. But then they find him anyway, and years and years later. But yeah, I did not care for the whole. We gotta find Trinity and wake her up. Of this franchise. And for people claiming that this movie doesn't have bullet time, yes, it does. I swear it does. Like, what are you talking about? And it's almost like a parody, or, yeah, a parody of what it once was. And it's really meta when you think about it. It's like they treat the Matrix like it's and not an actual, you know, part of life, but just like games. I love the dialogue where Trinity, Carrie Ann Moss's character Trinity, but really, or not really, but she under the impression that she's named Tiffany. She's like, I played your game, and I asked my husband, don't you think she looks like me? I'm like, really? You played The Matrix? Really? Because she don't look like she plays video games for anything, or ever. Let alone look like she would be good at them. But okay. Um, and then Neo like does this whole he gets attacked by uh Agent Smith, even though he's not an agent. He's an agent, but he's not. I swear that's the I swear they say that in this movie. He's like, oh my god, is it him? He's an agent, but it's like he's not. But he's not an agent. Like, is he an agent or is he not? And yeah, he's supposed to be Agent Smith, which I'm like, I thought we wiped him from existence in the third film. I guess not. He has a new paint job, a new surgery. He got new surgery done on his face and body, I guess. Also, they keep flashing back the footage and snippets from the other films, I guess, to understand who's who and what happened, and if stuff was really real or if it was just, figment of imagination. And that stuff, again, the psychological stuff, I kind of liked, but I don't know if it needed to really be in this movie, because then they just, I don't know how you could explain, or how you can keep going on with that, really. But the fight scenes are just okay. Neo doesn't really have his powers in this. He's not OP. And I didn't really find him being OP in the original films. I didn't. It seemed like him and Agent Smith were on the same level almost. On the same, but Neo was just a little bit, stronger. But here, like, he's totally stripped of his flying ability. I'm like, why? He knows he's the one, and he knows he can do, he does force push or whatever, or deflect, and that's all he does throughout this movie. He doesn't fly. He doesn't. He does punch. Well, not. He doesn't. I don't even think he power punches anybody. I think he mainly just screams like he's like he's Sadell from Mortal Kombat, or he's Siren. Um, but yeah, like, so I didn't like that. I didn't like that he couldn't fly or do what he used to be able to do. Oh, he's older now, so they can't really. Yes, he can. It's called The Matrix. He's in The Matrix, and he's one of them. Then I hear in the second film they explain he's actually one of the sixth copies or ones of the previous ones. I don't care. I still like the fact that he was able to do what he was doing. But then, um, yeah, they totally they kind of ruin his character in this a bit. Not even a bit, a lot. I mean, they have Trinity. I guess apparently they watched either Last Jedi and they saw the feedback between, like, the relationship of Kylo and Rey doing the fourth Bond thing. So I guess they saw that. I guess the director and writers, whoever, saw that movie, saw the feedback that was getting, and they decided we're going to do a Kylo and Ren thing relationship with these two, but it'll be romantic, and where one is one can't be powerful without the other. And I'm like, what? That's not Neo. Neo is the savior of the world, of the Matrix, and they don't do that here. Where they treat him like he is, but he's really not. I guess they decide, you know what? Let's make Trinity special, because now she's able to fly and Peter Pan her way around, the world, or whatever. All the places do. Like, why is that? Because right at almost at the end of the movie, right when it's about to be over, because oh yeah, they don't have a big bad fight with anybody. Like they don't fight the uh agent Smith or whatever. There's not in a big climactic fight or anything. It's mainly them deflecting helicopters, and then they jump off a roof, and then at first you're like, oh, Neo's hanging from Trinity. And he's like, I'm not doing this. Are you doing this? And then she's able to just, why is this happening? Why is she able to do this? How come she couldn't do this in the other films? I thought Neo was the only one that can fly. I thought he was the Goku. I thought he was the Superman to everybody's Z fighter. But I guess not. I guess now, does that mean the other people of Zion can do this? Does that mean Morpheus could have done this? Does that mean Morpheus could have flown? Because we do also get a when Jada Pinkett Smith's character is explaining what happened when Neo disappeared, when he was hidden, I guess, and kidnapped by the robots, machines, back into the Matrix. They were waiting for him, I guess, to return, and he never did. But Morpheus always believed that he would return. And literally, the people that believed that stayed with Morpheus. I guess they all died believing that, because they have like a statue of the real Lawrence Fishburne's Morpheus. But yeah, that sucks. Like, why couldn't he have been in this film? I think that would have been cool. His character. Just don't get it. I don't get it. I'm not even a big fan of these films, but I like the second one a lot. First one's fine. The third one I have issues with and problems. The Fishburne Morpheus character. He should have done more in that movie. Oh yeah, I guess Morpheus took over to be the leader, but then he dies off screen. But like, yeah, that sucked. This movie sucked. Also, I understand why he couldn't. Again, why didn't he fly? And then he's able to fly later on at the end. Which I'm like, with Trinity, I'm like, what? Wait, so now you can fly? Did she give you the magic touch or something? Like, I understand. Like, you couldn't fly at first, later on, and now towards the end of the movie, or really at the end of the movie, because then they confront Neil Patrick Harris's character in a lame conversation, and then they fly off together, and then it ends. So there was no big climactic fight. I don't count the helicopters, because all he did was deflect one missile, I believe, or maybe two, but I can't remember. Shows how memorable these fights were in this movie. Also, they bring back, it's called Resurrections, and they bring back like some of the bad guys from the previous films, I guess. Like the Frenchman. Although his character is so useless, because he does nothing in this movie. He has one scene where they're all fighting, not him. He's like in the background. He's just preaching and preaching and preaching, and that's it. And then he preaches, and then he walks off, and we never see him again. Never. I'm like, that was so random and lame. Like, because he's all mad because Neo stole my life, and then he just like runs off. He just walks off, and we never see him again. He doesn't, I guess, try to team up with any of the programs to take on Neo and the others. Nope. It's like it's called Resurrection, so let's do some old enemies come back, but they'll be killed off really fast. It was lame. And Neo especially. Trinity shouldn't. She shouldn't have been in this. But even the way they put her in here, they should not have had her have powers. Because then they explain something about when they're together, they're stronger or something. I'm like, that's not what the other movies were. That's not how that worked. Neo loved Trinity. Trinity loved Neo. She helped him, and he came through and helped them when they needed it. That was it. There wasn't I'm useless without Trinity. If Trinity's around, then I can do then I have my powers, I have my mojo. Like, no, that's not the movie. But, yeah, I don't know what else really to say. Other than, people want to call this the Last Jedi of the Matrix. I enjoy The Last Jedi, and that's a way better film. I do, think some parts of that movie is boring. Not as boring as this movie, though. But, yeah, I'm gonna just leave it here, so hope you enjoyed this. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so you know when I drop more content. Switch it to all, and, yeah, if you, let me know if you are a fan of the original trilogy or the very first one, and, yeah, thanks for listening, and take care.